I want to ask and see if the cards can tell us what was going on with Trump when that guy passed out. Because Trump was just, I don't know, just that blank look on his face. What the heck was going on? We'll see if the cards can tell us. I'll do a clarifying read, that's all. I'm not going to pull the other cards with it. I just want to do the clarifying read and ask what the heck was going on with Trump. Because he looked like he was standing there and just looked like somebody pulled a plug. That all of a sudden the programming was cut. Somebody pulled the plug and he was just, the programming failed like a robot. Plug was pulled and had no clue what to do. So let's see what the cards can tell us. At the center of it, about an action, about controlling an action. An action being controlled. Now this could be about, his being ruled by the action, or his trying to control an action. Because it was like nobody's home. They pull the plug and all of a sudden all the light goes out, the programming ends, and it's like above it, this happened rapidly. He lost his programming, is what it looks like. The foundation was, what was being given out. Okay, concrete things that were happening, that were being given out when it came to him controlling an action. On one side of it, left things up in the air. He was clueless. His programming ended. He's programmed, he's scripted, with everything he does, and all of a sudden, when some other action happened that wasn't in his control, it was like nobody's home. No clue as to what the next move would be, what to do. When it comes to the takeaway, when it comes to his gaslighting, when it comes to the things he's trying to get away with, when it comes to the things he mentally was trying to get away with, all of a sudden they pulled the plug and things were up in the air. So we had this, charging forward. The actions that were happening left things up in the air for him. The other side of it pushed to the edge. The struggle, something he was struggling with, pushed to the edge, out in the cold, didn't know what to do at that point. And ending, When it came to him charging forward with his actions, that came to an abrupt end. He was struggling with maintaining an action when it come to trying to get away with these things. Again, trying to figure out a next move. He was out in the cold with things up in the air. He was pushed to the edge. Underneath of it all, what's going on? A judgment. As usual, the judgment when it comes to anything moving forward. An action, anything in motion, he was delusional, Absolutely delusional. In other words, he was clueless when it came to that. This was one of the wealthy ones that had passed out, one of the Republicans. And of course, he didn't like the harvest. It reflected on the White House with his wanting to be, in charge. He wanted to be the mover and the shaker and all of that, and that caused him at a loss. Totally a loss. Drained him in that moment. When it come to the emotion, when it come to democracy, when it come to all the things that were being juggled, and what he's trying to sell, when it come to a concrete message, okay, feeling embattled, when it come to what's being birthed to America, and his cup of lies, okay, and his cup of lies. So it was like all of a sudden, he didn't know what to do. This was not in his wheelhouse. This was something that was not scripted. Okay? This is something that happened on the fly. And it left him again. Instead of controlling the action, he was pushed to the edge. Things were up in the air. When it come to his motion that he's going club in hand and he's doing this, it came to an end. Okay? So again, it was like a robot, like he was programmed, in motion, scripted, then all of a sudden, something that happened that wasn't in the script, and it was like somebody pulled the plug. And all of his action just went right out the door. And he's standing there absolutely clueless, with a miserable look on his face, because he doesn't know what to do. But they interrupted his, the thing that he was going to go charging forward, and that came to an abrupt end. And he's standing there frigging clueless as to what to do. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.